Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here for the Women in Beekeeping and Agriculture Conference. This presentation in the Welcome Room is Introduction to Grant Writing. So hopefully our slides are moving over. There we go. So first off, let's talk about what is a nonprofit organization, because if you're looking for grant funds, you are going to have to be a nonprofit organization. Now, if you're with an organization that isn't a nonprofit, but you have a great idea, go find a nonprofit to work with. And it is certainly the goal of grant funds for projects, for services, for programs. It is all about serving a public or mutual benefit. It is not about accumulating profits for the board members, for owners, for investors. That is not what it is about. Even if you're a small business receiving a small business loan or grant, you have still submitted a budget. You have still told that in that loan application what you want to use the money for, and you must use it for that purpose. So there are always guidelines with any type of grant funds, small business loans or those for nonprofit organizations. So of course, what is a grant? Now, far too many people think it's free money. It isn't. You do have to work for it. You have to certainly write an application. You have to have that budget developed. You have to make sure you have responsible people to manage it. And a grant is there also to support your organization's mission. It must support your organization's mission. So if your organization is educating about Russian bees or a specific breed of cattle, then your funding is going to support that mission. You can't suddenly go, oh, we're now going to start breeding Italian bees, but we're the Russian beekeepers. They're not going to give you funding for that because it's in violation of your mission. So certainly a grant is money. It is awarded based on that project proposal. It requires certainly regular reporting to the funder, and each funder will define for you in the award contract how regularly they want to hear from you. Some it's it's quarterly, for some it's every 6 months, for some it's just an annual report. It differs for each one. So always read that contract. And typically also when you apply, they will also tell you, the funder will, they have certain expectations of you. So make sure you can meet those expectations. Typically grants are also matched by the organization receiving the money. So if you are writing a grant to receive $25,000, you're going to have to match it with $25,000. And that $25,000 is either in cash or in kind. Sometimes it is sweat equity, so that you might have products donated as part of your $25,000 match. You could have your volunteer time also donated as an in-kind part of that match. Again, your grant application will tell you what they are looking for or how much in a match. Certainly grants are awarded on a one-time, a semi-annual, quarterly payment. Sometimes it's reimbursement basis. Again, look at your contract and understand. With grants that are a reimbursement basis, your organization has to spend all the money first, then you submit receipts in order to get reimbursed. So you've got to make sure you have the cash flow to do those things. So what does your beekeeping association or your farm group or your community group, whether it's a master gardeners, what do you want to do? What are those projects or programs that will serve your members? What is the education that's lacking? Do you want to put in a pollinator garden at the local school? Or do you want to work with Extension to put in a pollinator garden? There's so many opportunities to take advantage of grant funding, but you do have to know what you want to do and how will it benefit your members and the community. What is that need that there is in the community? Maybe the public library needs to redo its garden area, or you have a community garden that needs support in helping to develop. And beekeepers and farmers, it's a great way for them to come together in a community garden. So how is your local association, whether it's a beekeeping association or a garden or a farming or a livestock association, how are you collaborating? How can you work together? Certainly in beekeeping in the cities, we have the old adage of usually the people who want to have chickens in the city go to the city and work out ordinances, and then the beekeepers come in after that so that they let the folks with chickens kind of lay the groundwork. So it is really the same with any collaborative project. Look for those folks, those groups where you share those common purposes. And certainly